so we won't forget. So welcome, dear friends, to our study. And today we are going to speak about Ezekiel 43. 43 is more or less in the middle between 40 to 48 chapters that speaks about the vision of the future temple that would be for the people of Israel. The year is 573 before Common Era. It's the 25th year to the exile of Joachim, or the exile of the elite. We can read it in Ezekiel 40. And we get many details about how the temple will look. And today, in the middle of the chapter that we read, there is a beautiful chapter, a beautiful surprise. Sharon knows the surprise yet, so since you've seen it before, and you will see it also today. So let us start and see what we have in this beautiful. So let's say hello to Rod. Rod, can you please read to us the blessing?
Ki ma'ar haaretz da'at et Yehovah ki mayim vayam machasim.
Amen, amen, dear friend. And let's see the first verses.
Vayoli chayni el ha'asha'ar sha'ar asher honeh derech hakadim ve'hinei kavod Elohei Yisrael ba mideret hakadim ve'kolo gadol mayim rabim ve'haaretz e'ira mikvodo.
Yafé מאוד, beautiful, thank you. And we can see here, there is, of course, God that brought Ezekiel to the gate that looked toward the east. Of course, we know that the east was the important direction in those days. So this is also relates to the entrance. Also, it relates to the direction that we pray. If you are not in Israel, you pray to the east. And what we can see, one more time, the glory of God and the beautiful description of his voice as the voice of noisy many waters. Maybe it reminds us the blessing that we have, that our knowledge would be as the water that covers the earth. Here it relates not to the water itself, but the voice of the water. And also the earth shine with his glory. It's a vision with a sight which is really impressive, intimate from one hand to Ezekiel, but really impressive for the readers, with a beautiful imagery that we can see here about the voice and of course the land. This sight, I think maybe is takes us to the impressive vision that we can see in Mount Sinai, that the people of Israel, there is a description that all the people sees the voices, literally, רואים את הקולות. So the voices is something which is really important here in this description, and even there, of course. It's really beautiful and really impressive sight. And it's not a coincidence, since in the book of Ezekiel we've seen it a few times. So this is something that is really important to remember. Let us see how it goes when we continue to read. Doug, how are you, dear friend? Everything is okay? Thank you, Rod, of course, for everything.
Shalom, Ellie. I'm off mute. Everything is pretty much okay, except I'm having trouble doing my notes at the moment. Okay, because I've got a dialog box. Okay, hang on a second, please.
Okay.
Yeah, I just got a bunch of work done before class. Fed the wild birds, fed the cats, walked the dogs, and I'm all set for today. Hi, Jackie.
Shalom.
Shalom, Jackie.
Shalom. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you very much. Yofi, Doug, thank you very much, and you're more than welcome to read. Seems to be that you have, as always, a week with many things to do, and you've done it. I'm sure that everyone will have a busy week, as if you mentioned, with many actions to do. Kol hakavod, dear friend.
Oh, there's much more ahead. We've only just begun, as the song says. Mare, hamare, asher, raiti, hamare. Lots of mares there, repeated, triple. Asher, raiti, raitis also, lots of them in these verses. The voi, l'shachet, et ha'ir, umarot. I always get confused whether in that aleph there's supposed to be a slight pause, but it's hard to do in some cases. Kamare, asher, raiti, el, nehar, kavar, va, epol, el, panai.
Yefe מאוד, and as you've mentioned, sorry, continue.
Go ahead.
No, I forgot that you have another verse 4. Please read it.
No, it's at a break, so okay. Uchvod. That sounds like kavod, but with a softer chai, chet. Adonai Ba'el Habayit Derech Sha'ar Asher Nav Derech HaKadim.
Yefe מאוד. And as you've mentioned, triple, mar'eh, triple, as which I saw. So this takes us back to chapter 1, to the beautiful sight of the chariot, also to chapter 8 and 9, that Ezekiel, actually 8 to 11. We've learned in this course 8, the vision that Ezekiel saw when he was brought spiritually to Jerusalem, to see how the city is destroyed and how the city is corrupted. It's really interesting to see that the journey that we've done with Ezekiel is with many sights, with many interesting revelations. And if you want to understand this beautiful book, so these are actually key chapters that can help you in order to describe the actions and the work of Ezekiel as a prophet. I think that if we take Isaiah and Jeremiah, that also had revelations of God, that were also impressive. Jeremiah chapter 1 with God that touches his mouth, and Isaiah with the revelation in chapter 6. In Ezekiel, things are more, I think, more impressive, since it's something that is repeated. And that is also taking us to the prophecies themselves that are also really impressive in this book, things that we've learned and seen during this entire course. So with these three major prophets, we are before reading the minor prophets. So I believe that Ezekiel is maybe the most impressive prophet, especially with his relationship with God. Takes us to comparisons to Moses and to Elijah. And as we've seen here, one more time we can see that he fell upon his face. This sight is something which is so impressive. Just imagine, just to imagine that the glory of the Lord is entering to the house, to the temple, the future temple, through this gate that we've seen that it's toward the east. So toward the east. Thank you, Doug, for your reading.
I wanted to mention that doublings are discussed in the Talmud, as we happened to mention in my class today with Rabbi Akiva Tatz of London, and that there's two different interpretations of the doublings. And as an aside, there's no mention of triplings ever that I've heard or come across yet. But one interpretation is emphasis, but the other one I'll have to review my notes and get back to you about.
Okay.
But it said that, remember, I recall from class that he said Moshe Shapiro, rabbi, was a favorite topic of his, just as a point of information.
Thank you, dear friend. Toda rabba rabba. Always
Sure.
love to hear new interpretations and commentaries. Let us see now this beautiful passage. So let's say hello to Della. Della, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And Shalom, how are you?
Hello, I'm okay. Thank you very much.
Good. Batisa eni rua ruka vatevi ni el heka ser ap nimi dehine male kevod Adonai Abayit Vaesh Ma Madaber Elai Meha Bayit Deis Haya Omed Etzli.
Beautiful. And this impressive vision continues with Malek Kvod Adonai Abai. This takes us to the glory of the Lord that is described with the tabernacle in the wilderness that we can see it a few times. And then there's a man, and the man here in this case is not a person, it's an angel, as we can see, which is really interesting in the Bible. Sometimes Malach, an angel, is a man as a messenger, and sometimes the man is an angel. A man is an angel, as for example in Genesis 18 with these three men that are actually three angels that is described that came to Abraham and before the Sodom and Gomorrah. They came to Abraham. So this is something that can take us also there. And as we can see, things are really intimate here. It's in the inner court. Glory of the Lord is there. As we've said before, the atmosphere here is like the intimate relationship and connection between Moses and God, between God and Moses, I'm sorry, that we can see in Exodus and also Leviticus. There are many connections to Leviticus and Ezekiel, especially since Ezekiel is a priest also, and relates also to the rules that relate to the priest, to the sacrifice that we know from the beginning of Ezekiel. So this is also something that need to bear in mind. Let us continue there. Thank you very much for your kind reading as always. And let us continue now to see this passage. Victor, bevakasha.
Hi, Ali.
Hi, dear friend.
I always enjoy reading the Hebrew. Okay. Vayomer Alei Ben Adam et Makom Kis'i Va'et Makom Kapot Raglai Asher Ashkan Sham Vatok Bane Israel Laolam Valo Yatamu Od Bait Israel Shem Katshi Hema Umal Kechem Beats Tam Upagre Malkechem Mamokam Batitam Sipam et Sipi Zudatam Etzel Mitsuzati Vatakir Bani Uvenechem Utimu et Sham Kashi Bato Avotam Asher Orsu Bakal Atam Bapi Atam Yarahapu et Zuntam Upigre Malkechem Ni Yashakanti Batukam Laolam.
Excellent. So maybe the two key expressions is what they have done. They won't defile the name of my my holy name, and what they've done in the past, that they actually defile it. And the idea is that God will dwell in the midst of them forever, also in the beginning and at the end. You can go to the future if you're not looking at your past. It's not working, to even with the restart, still things are remembered, whether it's in our computer and whether it's in something which is more complicated in our life. And the idea here is that from one hand, the past is there and you can't forget it. From the other hand, there is something which is really secure, that God will dwell in the midst of them forever, in the midst of the people. And this, even though that there were saints, even though that the name of the holy name of God was defiled, since God is giving you and us and them option, because He's saying, I'm still here. I always was, and I will always will be. So this is really interesting to see when you read this beautiful text. From one end, the observation to the past, the sins, the behavior that we've seen, that in Ezekiel descriptions are really graphic. And just to remind yourself, remind our group, chapter 23, that was really graphic description about Ohali and Ohaliva that we've seen. But from the other end, still that there is the confidence that God is there. This is something that can cheer up the people. Thank you, Victor, for your reading. Toda. And let us move to dear Jackie. How are you, dear friend?
Yes, Ellie, I'm good. How are you?
Thank you very much. Everything is okay?
Good. Everything is good here.
Yofi, I'm really happy to hear. Toda.
אתה בן אדם, הגד את בית ישראל את הבית ויקלמו מעונותיהם ומידדו את התכנית, והם נכלמו מכל אשר עשו, צורת הבית ותכונתו ומוצאיו, וכל צורותיו, ואת כל הוא כותב, וכל צורותיו, וכל צורותיו הודע אותם, וכתוב לעיניהם, וישמרו את כל צורתו, ואת כל חוקותיו, ועשו אותם.
Beautiful. And for one hand, that the people will hear the plans of the house, the pattern, and there are many details from chapter 40 to 48 that we can learn about how this pattern of the temple would be. From the other hand, still there is the element of the people that would be ashamed from their behavior. But SUS structure, which is really with details and not just technical details that gives you numbers, but also how it would be in a really described way. So when you tell them, when you write it, so they can dwell, they can keep and remember all the forms and all the laws that they should do. And this is for all the people of Israel, though that I think that first of all starts with the priest of Beit Tzadok that is described here, but also to all the rest of the people that need this word of God that would cheer them up. From one hand, I'm here. From the other hand, don't forget what happened in the past. So really important words here. Thank you, Jackie. Toda rabba. Let us see more from this beautiful word. And it starts with the expression that reminds us the book of Leviticus. Let's see if Sharon is with us. Sharon, everything is good, dear friend? Let's see.
There. Can you now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Everything is good?
Yeah, I'm working outside all day, working outside and reading. So I'm getting all my outside door work done, trying to anyway. Is this verse 12?
12 and 13.
Eddie, this is verse 12 and 13. Same as I read this morning. Zot Habarit Al Bahar Kal Gebulo Saviv Kodesh Kadashim and Zot Habarit Ve'eleh Midot Hamit Pea. Let's see. Anmot. See this verse 12. Oma about the fact that Ama Me'ama Rocha Ugula El Sefa Saviv Zeret Ha Echad Beze Gav Hamiz Bea.
Beautiful, יפה מאוד. So,
thank you.
As you can see, it starts as the chapters in Leviticus starts in the beginning, Zot Torah, the laws of the house.
מה ואמה, כפה וחג, סביב,
יפה מאוד,
על
Sean, and
זה האחד, וזה
there is a small delay. Thank you. And I think what we can see here, maybe the beautiful expression of Kodesh Kodeshim, Holy of Holies. Eventually, it's more as you make things centered and centered, you can come to the important place. And there are distinctions between the people of Israel and the priest, and also there between one group of priests to another. Ezekiel is focusing in the descendants of the seeds of Sadok. And now, for the small surprise that I promised before, pay attention to the verses here. ומחק הארץ עד העזרה התחתונה 2 אמות. ורוחב אמה 1. One more time, technical details that relates to the inner and to the inner saddle and the lesser saddle. ומהעזרה הקטנה עד העזרה הגדולה 4 אמות ורוחב האמה. And then the surprise, וההראל 4 אמות. And Arel is the name of the 5th son that we have, and he's going to turn 4 at the end of this month. So when I was reading today this chapter, I was really excited. So it all the family, you know, this is the only time that we can see Arel in the Bible, and he's turned 4. So it's beautiful to see, and of course to share it with you. It relates to, of course, to the altar in the Holy of Holies. מהעיר אריאל ולמעלה הקרנות 4 ואריאל 12, אורך ב-12, רוחב רבוע אל 4 רבעיו. One more time, the number 4 is really important here. That relates to the corners, to the altar. The small surprise is here. This is the one and only time that we can see his name. We have it in plural form, but his name as Arel is here, the only time in the Bible. So it wasn't coincidence or not that he's with us today, but it's with us. Let us see more. Though that there are technical numbers, I think that the numbers is also as mathematics. When you know how your house is looked and what is the number, so this makes things more real to you, that you will you can imagine and also describe. We have a students that from Bibleli Europe group that told us that she would send to us how she had a book that with the descriptions and how it looked. So she told us that she would send it to us. Once she will send, I will send it to you, of course. Let us see more from this beautiful verse. And coming back to Rod, to the second reading. Yes, Rod.
Thank you. I had a bit of a dropout with the National Broadband Network here, so just back in time, apparently. Very good. Where ha'azara arba esre orech arba asre rochav el arba'at va'ehach v'hagvud saviv etah hatzi ha'ama v'hachek la ama saviv מעלותיהו בנות כדין, ויאמר אלי בן אדם, כה אמר אדוני יהוה אלה המזבח ביום העשרתו להעלות עלי עולה ולזרוק עלי דם.
יפה מאוד, and now we are going to see the after the numbers, there is also a ceremony that is going to pure the house, the temple, as sprinkle the blood, as the blood that was sprinkled in Exodus 24, the ceremony Moses has done with the people of Israel after he told them the laws, after the 10 Commandments, of course. And let us see what we have here. Thank you very much, Rod, for your reading. And Ella, this is your turn, bevakasha.
Benatata el hakohanim ale deyim asher hem Yisra Zadok Hak Rovim El Neum Adonai Elohim Leshar Teni Par Ben Bakar Lehatat Vilakata Midamo Vinatata Al Arba Kara Notar Ve'el Arba Binot Ha'azara Ve'el Hag Bul Saviv Teta Oto Beki Par Tahu.
Beautiful. One more time, we can see that Ezekiel is speaking about a certain group in the priest, the seed of Sadok, that are really closed to God, and they are going to be the group that is going to serve God. And then you can see the ceremony, the blood of the bullock that is going to be put on the horns and in the corners of the saddle, and it's going to purify, going to cleanse. Pay attention, it's the same root of to sin, just in a different binyan. We have a difference between chata, that he committed sin, and chite, that is clean. So same idea, just the same root, just with different meaning between kal and piel form. So it's really interesting to see how in one binyan it's in a negative way, and in another binyan it's different. Not so typical, but this is maybe what's so beautiful, as we can see here. And it continues with these words. Let's continue to see. Jackie, bevakasha.
Okay. Velakachta et hafar ha-chatat os rapho bamifkad habait מחוץ למקדש, וביום השני תקריב שעיר עזים תמים לחטאת, והטעו את המזבח כאשר הטעו בפר, בקלותך מחטא תקריב פר בן בקר תמים, ועיל מן הצאן תמים.
יפה מאוד. So we can see a ceremony that starts the first day with the bullock, the second is with a kid of goats that is also going to be sacrificed. One more time, it cleans the altar as the bullock has done, and after that another young bullock which is blemish, and also a ram out of the flock, and the ceremony continues. Thank you, Jackie. Toda. And Doug, בבקשה.
Here we go. Vahikrav tam lifnei Adonai vahishlichu hakohanim alehem melach vahe'elu otam olah la'Adonai shivat yamim ta'aseh se'ir chatat layom ufar ben bakar ve'ayil min hatzon tamimim asu.
יפה מאוד, excellent. The idea that the priest that shall cast salt is interesting. This is also a kind of a ceremony that you can see in some Jewish families until today. It relates to when you have a new house. This is a kind of a ceremony that you are doing, especially in the Sephardic families. When you enter to a new house, so this is a kind of something that you're doing. Also, from the other hand, if you're coming with a baby and to a house of family, so when you go out, there is a chocolate that is sent with you. Always, it's a kind of another ceremony in Sephardic families. Yes, Jackie.
Aren't you supposed to do something with salt the first time you go to visit Jerusalem?
Not something that I know, but if there is something that you know and you will find, of course, share with us. But I can understand why it could be. I know it only when you enter to a new house, when after renovations, or when you buy a new house. This is a ceremony. Of course,
Okay.
not everyone, but since I'm living in Jerusalem, so maybe it relates to this also. If I will find more information, of course, I will share with you. So
Elif, why do you put salt on the challah bread?
I'm sorry, where I'm putting it's like to spread around.
Elif,
Not on the house, in the entire place, in a specific place. If I remember, it was in the kitchen and also in the entrance of the house.
Eli,
Ken?
why do you put salt on the challah bread? You put the salt on the challah bread. Eli, you know what?
Sorry, Sharon, you're a little bit disconnected. I didn't hear you.
Where do you put salt on the challah bread?
Yeah, Sharon, if you can type it
Lost
in the
you.
chat, we can hear you. We lost you a little bit. Please write it down to us in the chat box, please.
Oh.
And let's see this. We spoke about the seven days of cleansing and purify the altar. And Victor, can you please read to us
Okay.
these verses, בבקשה?
7 ימים יכפרו את המזבח וטהרו אותו ומילאו ידו וכלו את המים הימים והיה ביום השמיני והלך יעשו הכהנים על המזבח את עולותיכם ואת שלמיכם ורציתי אתכם נאום אדוני אלוהים.
יפה מאוד. And what we can see here is that after the 7 days that it cleans, so from the 8th day, the priest actually can do the sacrifice. Sharon asked about the challah, why do you put salt? So this is of course to make the bread better. And if in the Talmud it's written that if it's salty, so you don't have to put it, just something to make technically to make the bread better, as we can see. This is since the bread is really important part, and you have a special blessing, hamotzi. So this is the reason that you put salt. If it's salty, as we've said, and also since in the Torah there is salt that you're putting about to the sacrifice, as we can see in Leviticus, for example, in Leviticus 2:13. So it's also, since we don't have sacrifice now, we don't have temple, so this is also a reminder to us. So two reasons: one that relates to the taste of the food, and the other that relates to coming back to the time that we have sacrifice and temple. And then, of course, God will accept all the sacrifice, as we can see here, after 7 days of making this altar pure. And with these beautiful words of Victor and Ezekiel, this is a time to say have a Shabbat Shalom, and thank you very much for your reading today. Next week, it's the party of saying goodbye to Ezekiel. It's the last chapter, Ezekiel 48. So I hope that all of you would have a great weekend. And this course was all this course was still with the Corona time. So I hope that things are getting better. in Jerusalem this week, it was a little bit worse. Some areas, some schools were closed because students and teachers were having this virus. Well, it would be better. I hope that the summer will take us to better places. And I want to thank you very much, as always, for
Shalom.
and that all of you will have Shabbat Shalom, and thank
Shabbat
you very,
Shalom.
very much.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, dear friends. As always, it's been a pleasure.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.